Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the In Our House podcast. This is episode 110. It's crazy. We've been 10 episodes past episode 100. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. It was a really good episode. Before we get into it, let's get into all the YouTube stuff. So if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, comment, turn on the bell notifications. If you've been here before and you're not going to listen again on next week's episode, hit subscribe because you're already coming back. That means a lot to us. If you're listening on Spotify, please rate us 5 stars. That means a lot to us, and we only accept 5 stars. If you guys heard that laughter, that is obviously not my regular co-host. He is out today, and this is the first edition of Gaby and me podcasting. So please welcome on Gaby.
Hello.
Well, before we get started, I want to say thanks because you fill in a lot whenever I can't come in, and it's cool that you help us out in that way. So thank you for that.
Yeah. But I was like, are you ready to podcast? I'm like, sure, I guess. I don't know. It's different, like, because I've never just done it with you. So
yeah.
I was like, well, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Well, yesterday, because today is, as of recording, is November 1st. When this goes out, I think that's like the 6th or 5th of November. So, but Halloween was yesterday, and it was kind of fun. I mean, it was very much like an adult Halloween kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ava's a little older, and then Vale is not old enough to really
know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't even put her in a costume because it was to me too much of a hassle.
Yeah.
But I want to talk to you about what your Halloween traditions were when you were a kid, and then I'll touch on whatever the little I remember from Halloween from when I was a kid.
Yeah. We'd always go trick-or-treating for sure. Like, I mean, I grew up with a bunch of my cousins close by. So for a while, we had a lot of Halloween parties, even just like the family would get together, dress up.
Would it be the thing where a lot of people would dress up?
Everybody would dress up.
Oh, let's go. That's cool.
We'd have like everything themed, like Halloween. Like the punch bowl had like a bloody hand, but it was just, and then like every little thing like that. But every year, like we dress up, we go trick-or-treating, and yeah.
Nice. And you did that up until what age?
For a while, because I was I'm like one of the oldest grandkids, so like I extended my childhood as long as I could, and so I started to see like my second, the cousin underneath me, because above me is Caesar, and there's like we never really hung out, but like I'd hang out with Monica and everybody else, and then when Monica kind of stopped things, I would stop things. So
but Caesar's also like what, like 5-6 years older than you? Yeah, so that makes sense, especially that age. You're 15, he would have been 20.
Yeah,
that's a huge difference in age.
Like 2 different spectrums of where we were at.
What was your favorite Halloween costume?
I don't know that I had a favorite that I can remember. I know I was a clown one year when I was like very, very little from photos. I was I dressed up as like the evil lady from the Dalmatian movie. I can't think of her name, but I know I had like the cow print or whatever, but not really cow print.
Does it start with a W or a V?
I really can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen those movies. DeVille?
Oh, yeah, DeVille.
Yeah.
DeVille. Yes. DeVille.
Yeah. Those kind of sort of things. But I only remember that from photos, but...
Oh, but like you don't have like an active memory about it?
No.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same. I mean, growing up, one Halloween costume that I really remember, and I think it was the only time I really dressed up for Halloween, I had like I can't remember his name, but in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the main bad guy. It's kind of like a samurai. He's got like a mask with like red eyes. Oh.
Nope.
Well, the costume wasn't exactly him, but it was like inspired by him. And it was cool because it had the mask, it had like the little like scythes, like the little knives and everything that go with it. And it was really cool. And I think that was the only time I really dressed up. But somewhere along the line, my parents said that Halloween was for the devil.
Yeah.
And they pretty much shut down
any celebration.
Yeah, we barely were allowed to go trick or treat. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my family was pretty big on religion too, but it was more so for the fun of it than, we're going to go out and celebrate and dress up because whatever. I don't know.
Right. And if you were dressed up, it wasn't anything like bloody or horror.
No.
It was a fun dress up, like a clown.
Like any character of some sort.
Right. Yeah. Dang. But all that, like yesterday when we were over there, it made me think of what I want to establish for Vale. Whenever she starts coming into consciousness about like, oh, what are we going to do for Halloween and all that. Hopefully trick-or-treating is still around.
I would think so.
You think so?
I don't think it's ever going to really go away. A lot of people do trunk-or-treat now, too, which I think that's kind of weird, but I don't know.
You know, I could go for a good trunk-or-treat. Because everybody, in my opinion, it's like a better sense of community almost.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're, like, on a block and all the cars are really close together and all the trunks are open and you can kind of talk with everyone more.
Yeah.
But
I feel like it takes away from, like, what I grew up as.
Yes, it does. Definitely. From going around and
going to house and running away, coming with so much candy or no candy, or like, oh, this house gives bad candy. Oh, this house gives really good candy, so you go there all the time.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, Valentine and Lupita bought full-size candy bars to give out. That's insane.
I snuck one before they went out, and I was like,
for real? So they got in. She took a Twix.
Me too.
Oh, for real? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my head, I'm like, that's a good move, but also now they're establishing themselves as the house that has that.
Yep.
So next year, they got to pull through every year, because if not, they're going to ruin their reputation in the neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, they were on sale at Costco that I saw. I almost bought some, but I was like, that's a lot of candy just to have here.
Yeah.
But
Weta would have fucked with it.
You would have.
But is that where they got it, at Costco?
I don't know if that's exactly, but I saw them, and I kept passing by them, and I almost got some. I was like, I don't need it. I was like, I was trying to justify. I can, because we had a Halloween party at work for our cardiac patients on Monday, and then Tuesday for our pulmonary patients. But that's the one day they're like, oh no, like, we got to stay healthy. It's like, I know you don't eat healthy 95% of the time. The one day we provide things. But yeah.
Right. Like what are you doing at that point? Like, exactly. You eat unhealthy most of the time. And then the one time where it's like, you get the green light, now all of a sudden you're better than everybody else.
Yeah. And so we had a lot of leftovers. I bought like this big tub of pretzels, and I have a bunch left over because it was like 66 bags, and maybe half were taken. So I have it at work for now, but maybe I'll bring it home. But that's still a lot of pretzels.
It is a lot of pretzels. But on the topic of food, and I know Weto's going to be editing this episode, I want to kind of like, not throw him under the bus, but I kind of want to like expose him a little bit. Because I don't know if the viewers know how much this dude eats and how skinny he stays. But also, he does exercise a lot. So he stays fit with all the exercise he's doing. But let's talk about his eating habits.
I mean, he went to Panda today, and he gets the bigger plate with the double orange chicken, the fried rice, and then the side of the teriyaki chicken. But then the other day he went también, and he got like a side of like the veggie rolls or something, and he ate all of it. Because I was coming home like, did you say me? And he's like, no. I was like, what? He's
like, what is that supposed to?
I was like, that was a lot of food. He's like, okay, yeah. And then today, I guess he was so full, but I was like, you still got to take like dinner, because that was your breakfast, lunch, but here in a couple hours you're pushing cards, you're gonna get hungry again. I get home from my dentist appointment and I see his lunch bag there. I'm like,
oh, he didn't take it?
No. I don't even know if he took snacks. I'm like, this man's gonna come home like starving, and I'm gonna be like, I'm not making anything. Yeah,
that, or he's gonna get something from the break room, because they have a little like snack section.
But that, he hates the sandwiches there.
Oh, yeah, most of the food there is not good. From all the jobs I've worked, whatever snacks or beverages they have, I only ever get the drinks.
Yeah. If anything, he'll probably buy an energy drink. And then...
Oh, so do you think he just, like, intermittent fasts? Or does he, like, legitimately eat...
No, he legitimately eats...
3 meals, big meals a day.
He will eat his big meals, but just today, he was just like, I really got to cut back. And I'm like... Okay, then take half of your lunch. You don't have to take all of it. They packed it for a hungry you, and if you're not going to be that hungry, just take half.
Yeah.
He said he just lost track of time. Was on the couch. So.
Nice. Because I've seen him eat, like, a whole pizza, and then like still want other food. And then yesterday he ate almost the whole pizza, and he had like 2 walking tacos, like 2 bags of walking tacos.
I didn't even see how much he ate, but
Yeah.
I believe it.
But it's crazy because, I mean, I don't eat that much compared to him, but I'm like significantly heavier than him. He's also exercising, like actually exercising, and I'm not for the most part. My exercise is just like my day-to-day walking and like at work or at school when I'm walking around. But bro, it just blows my mind how quickly he can just drop weight.
Literally. He
Yeah.
thinks about it, and it's like 10 minutes later, he's down. I'm like,
Must be nice.
well, seriously, though.
Must be nice. But damn, yeah, I just want to talk about that because every single time I think about his eating habits, it literally blows my mind.
Yeah. I was like, the day that we have kids, like, and if it's a boy, I am screwed. I'm never leaving the kitchen.
No.
It's continuously making food.
Yeah, to feed Güero and then the kid. That's going to be a lot.
Kind of scared.
Yeah, dude. I mean, just feeding Güero is probably like a full-time job.
Yeah.
So you can't keep up. And then he goes and gets Panda or like a whole pizza.
Seriously, though.
Dang. Could
Too
not
much
be me.
monies.
Nah. Like yesterday when we ate, I think I ate 1 walking taco and probably like 4 slices of pizza. So that's like half a pizza. But, and then I think that's all I ate. I might have had like a candy bar, and then I like downed almost the whole bottle of wine that Emma took.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked good, but I didn't have any.
It was it's because I'm not a big fan of wine though. That's the thing. But it didn't taste like wine, so I drank it.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel any kind of dizzy or anything.
Yeah, because the one Widow had, I smelt, and it smelled a lot like yeast.
Oh.
Or like.
You talking about the one in the Tombstone?
Yeah. I was like, oh, I don't want. I was like, it kind of threw me off. I was like, I won't try that.
Yeah, I was gonna try it, but I took a smell of it first. It reminded me of the wine from church.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, right. So I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, it's like,
just, yeah, I don't know. Something about wine is just not my kind of alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, I like it, but it has to be sweet wine. If it's like bitter and like very, like, I guess like bitter, I won't drink it. It has to be this.
Sweet wines are normally not red, right? Like a red wine is more bitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
typically. Because like my family, they get their wine from this place, I think in Remington, Indiana, like, or just that way in that direction. Like going to Chicago, and their wine selections that they get are really, really good. I always steal a bottle or 2. Because if I see it at my grandma's, I know they're not going to drink it. So I was like, hey, can I take this? Yeah, okay, thank you.
Nice.
And so.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they're not going to drink it.
Yeah.
Then why do they have it?
They'll be like, well, and if they come back for another get-together, they're going to bring more anyway. So thanks for the wine.
For the
free wine.
Yeah. Speaking of wine, free wine, I get my parents wine from Tokyo.
Oh, yeah. Have they ever opened it?
I don't think so.
I feel like they were supposed to open it when you got back, and they never did.
Well, because they said they wanted to open it whenever God and I like to celebrate or just like to drink it with us. And the one thing or another, God and being pregnant here and there, and just like not really being there for so long, we've never cracked it open. I don't even know if they still have it.
I'd be surprised. I'm sure they do. I doubt they opened it and didn't tell you.
I don't know. If anything, they probably just opened it one night for like an anniversary.
Maybe.
Because my parents love wine.
Yeah.
Especially my mom. I feel that's my mom's drink of choice.
Cup of tea. Yep.
Yeah. Cup of wine.
A cup of wine.
Yeah. Because I know for the anniversary, they always go to like Olive Garden and they get the whole bottle and they kill it there at the restaurant.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, can't go wrong with wine and pasta.
Yeah. I've never really had wine like that, but I'm becoming more of a beer guy, if I'm being honest. I like me a good cold beer.
Yeah, I don't. I can't take the smell or the taste of it. I'm like, bleh.
Honestly, it was an acquired taste. I kind of had to like drink it and be like, I'm gonna like this one day, and keep on forcing myself to drink it.
Yeah.
And now I developed the taste buds for it.
I guess that was kind of me with wine. I'm like, I want this, and then I like it. It helps that it's sweet though.
Yeah, you can get a lot of different flavors. Yeah, and that can also get really expensive though.
It can.
If you go for like the bougie wine, but you can get cheap wine for like and it tastes just fine.
Yeah, like we do the Oliver brand, and it's really good. We get it, and we've been to the winery, the Oliver winery too.
Oh.
We went to one summer ago with Lupe and Jacob, but
Yeah.
and we went to the actual winery and had the wine there, and it was really good. But yeah, and we got some wine there, but it was so much more than when you go to Kroger. It's so much cheaper than actually getting it at the winery.
Right.
So I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, because
Which I get is probably for the experience and stuff. But
right. But still, you would assume if you go into the place where they're kind of bottling it or whatever, that
you get like a deal or something, like
a
a case for this much instead of it being cheaper at another place. I don't know.
Another question I wanted to ask you was, what's your obsession with Tennessee?
Tennessee? I don't know. I guess that's like when I think happiness, my childhood happiness, it's in Tennessee.
Did you?
I went there a lot, like two, 3 times when I was younger.
Oh.
Yeah, I know for sure twice, and then I've been there with Weddle once. So, and then like all your friends.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I just had a lot of fun there when I was a kid, and I just like it there.
Is that somewhere where you like? I could see myself ending up there, like to live for a little while.
I think so.
Yeah.
A part of me would never probably leave like officially Indiana, but if I did, yeah, probably Tennessee.
It'd be Tennessee. Nice. Mm-hmm. Well, because I was looking at it, because a bunch of people in my classes at IUPUI were saying that Nashville is kind of like it's coming up a lot more. I mean, it's always been a big city, but it's like coming up more. And now I've been watching a lot of videos on it, and just like looking at suburbs and like housing prices, and for the most part, and it doesn't seem bad.
Yeah.
Over there.
I was supposed to go for a trip, but we didn't end up going. But from what I've heard, it's a lot of fun, and it's a big party city, so it's kind of like the IU Bloomington of Indiana.
Oh, got it.
But yeah, I guess if you're a big drinker and such, like, go there.
Yeah. That's kind of funny because I'm not.
Yeah.
And I'm not really a big fan of country music.
Yeah.
But I can see myself liking it. It's just,
I think it'd be a good time if we all went. You'd have to.
I'd be down. Growing up, whenever my mom would make tacos and like they had like little like fat pieces on them, she would have to take them out for me.
She still does that for Weddle.
Yeah.
She always makes a separate pan and be like, the ones that has no guaritos or fat. And I'm like, he's 25 years old. He can eat the fat.
Honestly, no. Because, I mean, if my mom... Now, I think at my age, I'm going to be 27 here in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I would just like take out all the fat from the already existing pieces.
Yeah.
But I totally get just having it with no fat already and just it's all beef. Because I can't. It's just a texture thing. It's all slimy.
Yeah.
Oof.
I've gotten used to it because I used to not like it, but I wouldn't touch Weddle's stash of non-fatty ones. So every now and then if I feel it, like I'll toss it out. But if it's like intermingled with like a big chunk or big bite that I took, I'll whatever. But
you see, on a nice piece of steak, if it's like a little bit so like on the outside of the steak and it kind of goes into the piece of meat, if it's done well and it's cooked well, that fat piece is so good.
I don't know. No.
It can't be too thick though. It's got to be like
maybe
nice like almost crispy, but not quite crispy.
Okay, maybe yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then another thing that's gross is fucking chicharrones, right?
Like the dried ones? Like,
yeah, it's just pig skin that's fried.
Yeah.
Is there just fried pig skin?
I like those, but because it's crunchy.
But when you think about it,
I know it's gross.
It's gross, especially when you see how nasty pigs live.
Yeah, it's so gross.
Yeah, it's like one of the only animals that honestly I could not eat and be totally fine. I'm sticking with my fish, my chicken, and then my beef. But pork, I think the only thing for pork would be ham and bacon.
Yeah. I used to have pork chops all the time, but then like I had one bad experience with it, and I was like, no, not again.
One time I saw this thing on YouTube, and it showed larvae coming out of pork chops, And now whenever I think of pigs, I associate it with larva, and I can't do pork chops
Nope.
or anything else like that.
Yep. But then do you eat carnitas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, I love carnitas too. So it's like, wait, when I think about it, I'm like, oh, well.
You know how I disassociate? I just think it's different flavored beef in my head. I'm like, oh, I'm just eating beef carnitas, but they're not at all. Yeah, but that's how I get through it. Because if not,
I don't really think about what it is.
That's good. Do you like goat?
I don't know that I've actually tried goat.
Who's your goat? Who's your goat?
Are we talking what?
Who's your goat?
I don't know. I don't really have a goat. Like,
there's only one real answer here.
I know the right answer you're thinking is Messi.
Okay, that's all we wanted to hear.
Like,
Widow, good job. You taught her well, bro. Yeah, Messi is the goat.
I was like, where's this conversation going? I'm so confused.
Sorry. I tend to be a little scatterbrained sometimes.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is he actually talking about goat? Like, I don't have a goat.
Well, no, I was, but then I thought about asking you, and then, yeah. But do you like goat, though?
I don't think I've ever had it. Well, isn't birria? Some birria, forms of birria?
Yeah,
I guess I've had it. Like, my grandpa loves to go to this birria place in Chicago. Every time we'd like drop people off or be picking people up from the airport, we'd always go early, and it'd be like goat birria, and I'd say I really liked it. So,
but you have like the cebolla with the cilantro, right? Yeah. See, because I think that's more fine, I guess. Because all the flavor combinations of like la tortilla and then the cebolla and the cilantro and the caldo that's with it, whatever, just everything combined, it kind of like dilutes all the gaminess.
Yeah.
You know, but just straight up like a side of cooked goat meat, I can't do it.
I don't know that I've actually ever just seen like goat meat just cooked like that.
One time at Garden's family's, they had like some celebration for her side over at Los Galletas up in Lafayette.
Yeah.
And they had like carnitas, but it was goat meat instead of pork. It was so gross.
Yeah. I mean, if maybe going in blind and not knowing what it was, maybe I would have given it a shot. But
well, you would know as soon as you smelled it, or maybe even if you didn't smell it and you tasted it, you'd be like, "This isn't what I'm used to at all." Yeah, it's super nasty.
I mean, I've had lamb before. One year when I was in Catholic school, like we did like a Passover meal.
Oh, okay.
And so,
what was on that meal?
All I remember is the lamb and a few sides that I don't remember that were that good. But I remember like I want to try the lamb just to see how it is, and it wasn't bad.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, maybe it was just the way it was cooked and prepared, but it was not bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you ever teach CCD or do anything like that?
Yeah, I was an assistant for the longest time, and then before I like retired, I was a teacher.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, was that for what grade
second
level?
No, it wasn't second. Third or fourth. They were younger.
That's after their first communion, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause second grade is their first communion.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's not it.
Yeah. Man, I've been sort of moved from CCD. That I don't really remember which grades do what and like at what time you learn what. Because there's a structure on like when you learn certain things, but I don't remember much of it. So,
I mean, if you guys end up taking ballet to them, I mean, it'll kind of be like a refresher if you guys do.
Yeah. I remember I did this kind of similar where I was like an assistant and just kind of helped out here and there. And then I remember actually, I don't think I ever had my own class. I don't think I ever got that far. But the furthest I remember getting is with Mireya. Shout out Mireya if you're listening. And I was her assistant. And I remember getting kids ready for their first communion.
Oh.
And then I would like there'd be like a test day, and then I would be in charge of testing them on their prayers and like making sure they know them. Yeah.
Do you know them both in Spanish and English?
At one point in time, I did. I think now I don't think I've said them for so long.
That you can recite either or.
Well, I think if somebody started it and we both said it at the same time, just memory would kick in. I might miss a few words here or there, but memory will just kick in and I'll do it.
Yeah, sometimes
You know
I
what I
forget it in Spanish or English. Mostly English, and then I'll know it in Spanish, which is weird because I feel like I don't know why I learned them in both, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good to know.
yeah.
You know, because I mainly knew them in Spanish, and then my family would go to English mass a lot because it was early and honestly it was just way less crowded at St. Boniface.
Yeah.
So we would go there. My mom didn't understand, but
Right.
the fact that she's there at church doing all her things, like
Going through the motions, and she knows how to respond.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what counted. You know what I mean? So, but that's when I really started to learn it in English. And even then, I don't really know the structure of mass.
Like, what do you mean?
Like
what happens? Or like why? How it happens?
I think all the above.
I guess it's different for me because I mean I was in Catholic school, so like I literally
Like, did they teach you like the order of the mass and why it goes in a certain order, and then
probably I couldn't tell you why.
Okay.
But I know like when things take place, and of course like you get there, it's the opening prayer, and then they do the readings, and then they prepare for the communion, and then do communion and the after prayers. Which realistically, when you put it like that, it doesn't seem that long, but it always takes much longer.
Well, because isn't it after communion when the priest goes up and does the reading and then kind of just speaks for like a little while?
That's after he does like a homily, and then after the homily, he gives like his own. That's right before he goes to prepare communion.
I think it depends on the priest, because some priests use that as like the soapbox.
Yes.
And next thing you know, you're like, it's been 30 minutes, bro. Like,
yeah, I'm like,
let's
where's
keep it
this going? Like,
Yeah,
sometimes you're like, yeah, okay, that's good, and other times you're like, you lost me.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
But is there like a general time frame? Is what, like 45 minutes roughly to an hour that it's supposed to take?
I don't know that there's a general time frame.
Oh.
Probably. I've always known them to be an hour. I mean, the church we went to would always be quicker, and I think that's why my family would go, because it's in and out.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go through and you do everything you're supposed to or whatever, then it really just depends on that part, on how long the priest wants to take. Yeah.
Like, I guess, like with my family, like all of my family would go, my aunts, uncles, and so like they had younger kids, so I think that really helped out too, like easing them in, that it was a shorter time frame than if they were to go to Spanish mass.
Yeah. Dude, nothing is the worst as a little kid being forced to sit still through a mass and just being so bored. You're like, how do I keep myself entertained? Cause
I don't think we ever went to the Spanish ones.
Oh no. Honestly, probably for the best.
Yeah.
Because they're so packed. Everyone is like standing around on the sides, and then by the time that everyone goes through communion, it's been like 30 minutes or like close to.
Yeah.
Spanish mass was after CCD,
yeah.
so the priest had no real rush to get done.
That's true. He's like, you're stuck here now.
Yeah, versus in the morning, there's a time frame like, I got to get out a certain time so kids can go to CCD. You know?
Yeah. Didn't think about it that way, but yeah.
Dude. And sometimes it'd be hot.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember one time I got really upset with my mom because I wanted to wear my Yu-Gi-Oh button-up shirt.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cool. It was the coolest shirt I've ever owned. But it was like wrinkly because my mom hadn't. She either wasn't washed, and I was upset that my mom didn't wash it so I can wear it to church. Or it was washed and I just never hung it up and it got all wrinkly. And my mom was trying to get me to wear something else, but I was so set on wearing this shirt. And she's like, "You're wrinkled. Like, what the fuck?" And I'm like, "I don't care. I'm like, I want to wear this shirt." So I took it wrinkled in protest of my mom. And then when I showed up, I was so embarrassed.
Yep. She's like,
Yeah. I just remember being like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to move. I want to wait till everyone leaves so then I can leave. It was so embarrassing.
And then you think back, you're like, my kid one day might do the same thing.
Yep.
That's how we learn, I guess.
Yeah. It's like you gotta choose your battles, and my mom chose to let me win that one. 'Cause
Yep.
she knew.
Mm-hmm.
She knew I'd be embarrassed.
Yep. She's like, well, she'll learn something. So.
Yeah. So, damn. Did you ever do anything like that?
No. I'm goody two shoes when I was younger.
Well, so was I. I always tell my parents, I'm like, you guys are lucky.
Yeah.
I'm like, none of your 5 kids are into drugs.
Yeah.
You know, like so far, I mean, there's still my 3 sisters, but so far, like, no one's had kids outside of marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's knocked up, like, a girlfriend or, like, a one-night stand or anything like that, so.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
Water and I did live together before marriage. I don't know how they felt about that.
well,
But
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure you know a little bit, but.
yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, you guys are married and, like, they like you and obviously they like Widow because it's their kid.
Yeah. Like, I guess we like him.
Yeah, it's only because he's our kid. Otherwise,
Yeah.
he's like, that bald ass can fuck off.
What if she's going to be editing this and being like...
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. That's funny because he's not going to know anything of it and then be listening the whole time and be like... They're just talking shit about me.
Yeah. Just be like, this is what happens when I leave. Yeah. Also, I've noticed that a lot of the times when you're on, we have a lot, like our views go up a decent amount. And I think it's mainly because of your family.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of my family listen anyhow, but I think more of them will stay and watch longer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, when you're on. Yeah, so if you are Gabby's family and you're here, shout out. And also, I know some of you guys were saying that to kick me off to have her on as a permanent co-host. To you guys, watch your back. You never know when me coming.
It's okay, guys. He's had too many crayons.
Yeah. Speaking of crayons, Gaiden ordered some, or either ordered them or they're on her wish list for Vale.
Oh, yeah.
But they're cool because they're like big circle crayons. Like, and she can just hold them on one end, and then the other end is the crayon.
Oh.
And it kind of comes to like a little rounded point, and she can draw like that.
Oh.
Because she's been interested in scribbling.
I see her. She would crawl over to your like notepad and be like.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Yeah.
And then she held it like this, and then she saw me hold it like how you hold it, and so she held it like this too, but it was all loose, so she just was doing this.
She's so smart.
Yeah.
It's so sad. It's like, can you stop growing up so quick?
Yeah. And I was just telling Gaiden earlier, I'm like, every day she's getting more and more aware or conscious or just adding things to her repertoire.
Yeah.
Every day. And I'm like, dude, that's kind of sad. It's cool, but.
Yeah, but it's like, what happened? Like, you were just a little baby.
Yeah.
I mean, she's always going to be your baby, but.
Yeah. Because now every time she wakes up, almost immediately when I go to pick her up, as soon as I pick her up, she looks at me, she's like this. Because like, she wants milk.
Oh.
But she does this.
She's like, more what?
Yeah.
That's my favorite when she does that. I'm like, more what, Vale? Milk, food, play.
Yeah, but she looks at you with the dead face, and she's just like. And you're like, brother.
But like being her parent, you're like, gotcha. Her one sound, got it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where like, oh, maybe this.
Yeah, where it's kind of a guessing game. Yeah. But for the most part, I've noticed that she's not really signing milk anymore, and if she is, it's not like this. She does it like this, so it's confusing to know whether or not she wants milk or if she's saying ben. Yeah. So
Yeah.
she started going like this for milk too. Yeah. And sometimes she's combining signs. She's going like this. She wants more food, and I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy, girl.
Yeah, she's communicating. That's crazy.
She knows Fuchi. She's like, ew.
I saw her doing that yesterday. It's so cute.
Yeah.
The other day, Monica was like, she's gonna be a bilingual queen.
Yeah, because we're throwing English and Spanish at her left and right.
Which is good. Like, I don't know what the proper way to learn it is. Like,
Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know that there is. I mean, I've seen a lot of like TikToks where like one parent's Spanish primarily and the other one is English, and I've seen like videos where like the kid will literally switch from one language to whatever parent they're talking to. But I'm like, that's a lot of work. Like, I need to talk only in Spanish to my child, or like, but then like, do you talk to your husband or your spouse and that? You know, like,
yeah.
How do you switch that? Blah.
flip the switch.
Yes.
Yeah, you can say switch that flip.
Yep. Because at work, there's this patient who's Spanish speaking, and every time I'm like working with him, and then I go back to like talk to my coworkers, like I had to like think about speak it in English and not reply to them in Spanish, because I'm like in that like autopilot. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, like especially like when they sneeze, I'll be like, salud, bless you.
Yeah. They're like, what? What'd you say? Salud?
Yeah, because one time like salud, and then they're like salud, and then they were just making fun of me. I'm like, that just means bless you. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, but yeah.
I don't know. Well, right now I've noticed, because Karen is supposed to be the English speaking parent, and I'm supposed to be the Spanish one. But as like time is passing on, both of us are kind of becoming Spanish to her. Mm-hmm. And then here and there we'll throw in some English, but for the most part it's like primarily Spanish. Yeah. Which I don't mind, honestly, because she'll learn English regardless.
Yeah.
Just through, I mean, we speak English to each other in our friend group. God and I speak English to each other, so she'll pick up on it. Yes. My concern is her not picking up Spanish. Yeah. Yeah. Because
who's she gonna talk to in Spanish other than us? So
yeah, she can't communicate with either grandparents on both sides, and I don't really want that.
Yeah.
You know, I want her to enjoy talking to them and like learning from them and
right, and actually have conversations with them. Because like with me, I'm the only one that can really have a conversation with my grandparents. Like my cousins can, but like my grandparents' responses are very limited to like they know what they want to say, but getting it out is not always
the easiest way.
Yeah, and then vice versa for them. Like they know very little Spanish, like "Hola, cómo estás?" Like "Oh, bien," to like whatever, like
right. It's basics. All just like the basic responses. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because every time they'll be like, "Can you tell grandma this?" I'm like, when I was younger, I went through a phase where I'm like, no, I'm not your translator. Learn Spanish.
Nice. Get them.
Yeah. And I mean, not all on them. So, but then my grandma watched us all the time. So I'm surprised they didn't pick it up too.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because my grandma like watched all of us when we were younger, like when we didn't go to daycare or anything. When I was younger, my mom or my grandma was still working. So like, I'd go to like family friends and such, like how your mom would watch kids.
Right.
They'd have someone like they trusted and everything that I'd go to, but she would speak Spanish too, so I kind of learned the Spanish, but then my mom would always speak English to me.
Oh, because your mom is first generation, right? And then you're second generation.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's weird to think about. It's like, yeah, I'm second.
Yeah.
Like the differences, like Widow and I would talk about like how we grew up. Like he's like, well, we can afford Disney, blah blah blah, and Nickelodeon. Like,
that's something Widow would say.
Yeah, I was like, okay then, because I'll be like, because something about like SpongeBob, he's like, well, I couldn't watch Nickelodeon or blah blah blah. I'm like, well, I wasn't supposed to, but I.
Yeah, you're like, I did anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my cousins would watch it and I'd watch it with them. But I know one time I said the word gay. And my grandma was like, where'd you learn that? I was like, SpongeBob. She's like, you can't watch that. I don't even know where I got it from. I just said SpongeBob.
Well, yeah, SpongeBob does. I think there is an episode or two where he says gay.
That's probably, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, as a kid, words like that stick.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're just like, that sounds like fun. A word to say.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is that my dad let me want to watch WWE, like pretty much all growing up.
Yeah.
And then the era when we started watching it, or when we watched it, was I think it was like towards the end of the Attitude era, or like beginning of some other era. But it was wild, dude. Mm-hmm. Like it was like super aggressive. And like sometimes like highly sexual, and we would watch it and like
not knowing any different.
Yeah. But I remember if we're watching a movie and like a kissing scene comes up or like a novela and it starts getting a little too spicy, immediately like all the tias and my parents like all the kids have to look away or like cover their eyes. This was like this huge thing. And I'm like, brother.
You're like, you okay.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, but I can watch WWE, but I can't watch this. Or my parents would let us watch what's it called? La Rosa de Guadalupe. Yeah. Or La Familia Peluche.
Yeah,
or
that was, I feel like, really inappropriate. Like 95%
yeah,
of the time.
Was, yeah. And then, what was the other one? The Judge.
Sábado Gigante.
No, it was a judge.
Caso Cerrado?
Yeah, Caso Cerrado. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We weren't allowed to watch any of that because it was too much drama or whatever.
Or did you ever watch, like, the Doce Corazones? Like, or see it go on? Or like,
it was a love show, right?
Yeah. My grandpa would watch that all the time, and I'd be like, okay.
Mi tia Marta watched that.
Yeah.
I remember she lived with us for a while, and that's like the most exposure I got to it because she would watch it. Mm-hmm. But no, my parents were super like old school in that sense. Mm-hmm. On Sundays, we weren't allowed to watch TV, and if we did, it had to be mass or something religious related. Yeah.
I think my mom was very lax with me because she gave me all the freedom she didn't have. But then also, all her siblings say she had it the easiest. Which
because your mom's the youngest, right?
My mom's the oldest.
Oh, for real? Oh,
yeah.
Snap.
So they're like, usually the oldest has it the worst, but they said that my mom's always been the princess.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, I don't know. I guess, I mean, I wasn't there when they were younger, but I always think that Weta is the princess and not my mom. But
yeah,
I guess, like, maybe when they were younger, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, generally the oldest does have the toughest, you know.
Yeah.
Just simply by how they're raised or whatever reason, different expectations of different kids.
Yeah. And, like, I know, like, she struggles in English still a little bit. Like, she knows it very well, but, like, things just sometimes, like, spelling. Like, she struggles with, like, spelling and, like, verb and tenses. But, like, if she's talking to you, fine. But if she's, like, typing it out, sometimes I'm like, what are you saying? Like, if she's texted you probably in the past, you're like, what?
Yeah. Every single time it's like I have to decipher it.
Yes.
It's like a little code.
Yes. I'm like, Spanish, Mom, and then you can understand it.
Yeah. But I've noticed all Mexican ladies are like that. Because my mom's like that. Mm-hmm. Well, even in Spanish, sometimes she'll say things or like it's not spelled correctly or it's a little weird. And my suegra does it all the time too. It's just deciphering.
Yeah. It's like.
Yeah. It's just old ladies and technology.
My grandma gets on me, like, I'll try and text her in Spanish, and she'll be like, this is how it's said. This is spelled. I'm like, okay. It's like, nobody really taught me, but okay.
Yeah. You're like, you know what, Grandma? Blocked. How about
just for that. She'll be like, hello.
Yeah. She'll be like, I need something, or how you doing? Yeah.
It's funny. The other day, it's so funny, you know, how technically challenged people are. Like my grandpa, he has my old iPhone, like my iPhone 6, like from way back when.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like he didn't want to pay for a new one. And at the time I'm like, I'm not using it. Or I had just upgraded. I'm like, it's paid off. You can use it, have it, whatever. He's like, okay, bet. Because they didn't have any more flip phones or whatever that or they were just too expensive. He didn't want to spend the money. Mm-hmm. And so like he brought it to me the other day. He's like, can you add this phone number? I'm like, yeah. He's like, just delete that contact and add this one. I'm like, you don't have to delete contacts to add contacts. But that person was deceased, so I guess like he didn't need that phone number anymore. But he takes out his wallet and he has a paper of all of people's names and their phone number. He's like, add this person, and then he's like flips the page and this person. I'm like, he's like, I struggle so hard like trying to find these numbers and putting them in the phone and like trying to call. He's like, just put them in there and I can look their name up. I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah, he had a little mini phone book in his wallet,
and it was funny because even when I was younger, they had like an actual like mini phone book that I'd always go through, like be like, oh, here's so and so's number. But like no, he literally carries around like a notebook paper with people's phone numbers. Like even if they're in his phone, he would still like have it just in case like his phone goes or something. Yeah, it's just habit. Yeah, I remember having a little spiral notebook, and like that was where all of my family's contact was. Like all my aunts and uncles and just phone numbers on there. Yeah, I remember. Oh, that's crazy. And then what a blast from the past that was. They still write like notes on like the bills. Oh, for real? Like I went the other day and I saw a note on one of the bills on the fridge, and I was like, they have a whiteboard that they gave them with like, and it's still from April of like 2020 like. One or something, and there's just a bunch of scribbling, like an appointment from like 2 years ago on there, and I'm like, they haven't even erased it. Bro. And then I wrote something on there for my grandpa's next appointment. I'm like, somebody will see it, right? But yeah, it's just random things on there. I'm like, no, you can update this. Like,
Yeah, like you can erase it and then write over something else.
Yeah. Some kid got to it, but I don't know who.
Dang.
They must have pulled the chair up because it's pretty high up.
Oh, and started messing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Whenever we're old, Vida's gonna be like, "Why do you guys still do things that way?"
Yeah. Or she'll be helping us with the newest like update or phone or what device of whatever it is.
Yeah, the new communication device.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna be like, "You guys are so outdated. Like, you guys had iPhones, really?"
This is my personal AI.
Yeah, and it's just like a little like AI robot or something just following her around.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want that.
No.
Ugh.
I like on Snapchat, like they have your AI.
Mm-hmm.
I was like trying to delete it because I'm like, I don't want it. And then like I accidentally click on it every once in a while. I was like, customize your AI. I'm like, it's already there. I'm like, nah, I never like, it's like chat with your AI. I'm like, no, I'm good.
You're just supposed to have conversations with it?
I guess you can. Like,
Oh.
I don't know if it's like what is it called? The chat GPT?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something similar, but like Snapchat version. I don't know.
Well, it seems like everyone has some kind of AI out now. You know, for us and even for businesses, there's AI that they use to track all their data.
Yeah, which is crazy because it's like when you think about it, like Siri was like, isn't it? She technically like an AI?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because what I'm talking about, she's like, that's probably like the basic model, if anything.
Well, because I don't think so. Because isn't Siri just more of like a voice search engine?
Yeah. Well, what's the difference between an AI and a search engine, like an Alexa and stuff?
Well, because AI, for Siri, you couldn't be like, "Hey Siri, like write me 5 podcast topics." I don't think Siri would be able to do that.
Gotcha.
But if you go on ChatGPT and you type, "Give me 5 podcast topics on this and an interesting way to present it," then it would do it to the best of its ability, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's super interesting.
Yeah. It's like maybe like a form of artificial intelligence, but not quite to the standard of, I guess, what it is now.
Yeah. And even then, who knows what it's going to be like even a year from now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I saw like how like AIs were at like stadiums like to fill seats and like like just there like going about their day and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
I think some people walking around these days are AI, like the robots.
Yeah.
Because some people I feel like they're not real.
Yeah.
Like the way they do things and they walk around in public, I'm like, what's going on here? Like, are you even real?
Yeah. It's a crazy world we live in now.
That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate it.
I was like, woo.
Yeah, that was good. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was the first installment of me and Gabby podcasting together. Weddle, unfortunately, is a hoe and couldn't make it to the podcast. So he's not here today. You know, it is what it is. As always, Gabby's here to save the day. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already on Spotify. 5-star ratings only, please. And thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.